Okay. So let's begin.
Sounds good.
Okay. So you said I just ticked off something of yours.
Hmm?
You said I ticked you off with the bubble theory thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, okay, so yeah, so for that I feel like it's because so I think the I hate calling it bubble theory, but basically focusing too much on like the all possible threat ranges for a character, like
Uh,
doesn't include the information of how threatening those moves are. It just
Okay.
tells you where they are. So like if you're in the air and you're close to the ground at like a low percent
Mm-hmm.
and you're next to Falco, it's like yes, you're in his threat range for down air, but his down air isn't a threat to you because if it hits you, you'll normal land.
At low percent, you're right. You're right about
So,
that.
and there's a lot of situations like that where this might be part of your threat range, but it's not it doesn't like it's not your most threatening thing. Like you have to weight things based on like what they can potentially do. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of situations in melee where you can hit somebody and still lose a situation or get hit and win a situation.
Mm.
And then also by overly focusing on threat ranges, a lot of times if you find an opening where your opponent enters into your threat range in a way that you can hit them, and this is specifically what sort of ticked me off to thinking about it, is that like you personally, from what I've seen, like a lot of times you will take an opening that doesn't give you much rather than try to use the opening to get like a bigger opening.
Okay.
And so I think that like overly thinking about threat ranges and like because the goal of melee is not to avoid getting hit by your opponent's moves. That has never been the goal of melee. The goal of melee is to take four stocks first.
True.
And so a lot of times the moves that you can do that like what is worth more? Like forward tilting and dash attacking your opponent 37 times or one rest, you know?
One rest.
And so it's like, yeah, the rest is going to be way more useful. And so if you end up in a situation where, yeah, you might be able to get a back air on someone, but if you do a tomahawk grab, obviously that's going to be a lot better. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think, like, basically, I think focusing too heavily on threat ranges and, quote, like bubble theory is very negative towards actually playing melee in the correct way.
So okay. So for me, I I have too many what's it called? I don't have strong conversions. Is that
You don't have what?
I don't have like really strong conversions.
Mm hmm.
And instead I just choose to do options that just work in that scenario, but not leading into the grander scheme of things.
Mm hmm.
Is what you're saying? Okay,
Yeah,
right,
like
right.
when you're going for an opening, you shouldn't be going for the opening and then figuring out what comes next. You should be
Yeah.
going for the combo or the combo to kill or the edge guard that starts with the opening you're doing. So like when you hit someone out of a position, you need to already have an like you shouldn't be like, I'm gonna hit him with the up air. It should be like, I am going to hit him with the up air, and if he DIs out, I hit him with this, and if he DIs in, I hit him with this or whatever. You know,
Hmm.
like it needs like there you need it needs to be like a loaded thing, kind of like. You know, up throw rest is like, is Puff really looking for the up throw or is she looking for the up throw rest? You know, and a lot of times, maybe that's not the best option because maybe somebody can DI it or whatever, but like, when the puff is hunting for a grab, people know inherently she is not looking for just a grab in general. She's looking for the up the rest. And
Yes.
so you want all of your every single opening you have to feel like that
Hmm.
where someone who is playing you knows that every opening you're looking for has like weight behind it because you have plans for what that opening will lead to.
Okay.
And every time I see you go for something where you get the hit and you won neutral, but it doesn't have any sort of weight behind it because I will literally see you F tilt Cody with Jigglypuff. And it's like sometimes the F tilt's not that bad, but like seeing the opening and then going for the F tilt is, let's say you have a 50-50 into a grab or a guaranteed F tilt, landing the
Mm-hmm.
grab half the time is still better.
Mm. Okay.
Do you have a
Okay.
VOD we can go over?
Yeah, I was thinking about actually going over the set that I played with Bobby Big Balls recently because I feel like he had like an actual like genuine game plan,
Mm-hmm.
and I felt just kind of lost trying to crack the code.
Okay.
Uh, I did a set analysis on it not too long ago, but it was mainly just focusing again on bubble theory.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, where I was like, okay, he always just jumps out of the corner to top platform right here. How do I beat it? Um, yeah, I'm just gonna find the Slippy files and then send it over.
Okay.
Okay, let's find it. It'll be a lot easier if I just go straight to my regular files. I feel like that set might demonstrate a lot about what we were just talking about.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah, what day was that? That was let me check my calendar. That was on the 10th. Okay. 10th. 10th. I'm assuming I probably just closed Melee after I lost and didn't play again. Okay. So there was two sets. Actually, no, there's three sets. I won the first one, game 5, and then I lost the other two in grands 3-1 both times.
Okay.
Which one do you think we should go over first? The one
Does
I win or the one I just lose?
Probably the one you lose, but it doesn't really matter to me. Like you said, you lost some like it because if it's you, I'd say it's up to you because usually it takes a little while to go over any sort of thing that I'm watching. So we might not get to the other set depending on which one we start on. So it's whichever one you think might have more like meaningful interactions or things you can probably draw from.
Okay, I'm gonna scroll down. I'm just gonna check the stats and see which one is more appropriate because we don't have to do the whole set. We could just fucking
Yeah, that's fine. Doesn't matter then, just any of them.
yeah. Okay, this battlefield game I won was this a
Like it
good.
doesn't matter if you win or lose the game usually. And the thing is, most of the time, what I notice is that if there are issues to somebody's gameplay, it's not like they don't come out for 2 games of a set and you see them game 3 or something like that. Usually, if there are issues in the gameplay, they're present in every single game in about an equal amount.
Oh, that's that's actually huge. I didn't even think about that like ever.
So, like, normally, if I just go over 1 game of somebody's play, then I can point out a bunch of issues, and then going over any games after that are usually just pointing out, oh, here's that thing again, here's that thing again.
Mm. I think this is it. This is gonna be the Yoshi's game actually, because I got blown up, bro. I got destroyed. It made me really
All
I
right.
feel like when I got blown up this game, I kind of just knew that Bobby's playing way better than me, and I'm just getting by on my character
Mm-hmm.
more than anything. I'm gonna send this to you. Let's see. Can I just copy paste into? Okay, does that work? Okay, I have to drag it. Let me just drag it. Upload. That's the Yoshi's game. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure. So my idea for the whole entire set is that I was kind of trying out this one thing where wait, warning. Oh god. I was trying out this one thing where I really wanted to hit one back air and then this go for pound because I've been rewatching like good H-box VODs and it seems like that's his strategy pretty much. It's like at low percents, it's just hit him one time, go for pound, and then I did like the Excel sheets to see why he does that, and it's like oh pound fucking knocks down like 4% across all matchups pretty much.
Yeah,
So
yeah, he likes to go for the pound because it basically just gives him a possible chance of getting a kill. Just even if it's like a low chance, he'll go for it.
yeah,
I think it might kind of be a little cheesy, but it
it is pretty cheesy,
it,
but
it it's like it's not too bad. I think he might overuse it a little bit.
I think I learned during this set in particular that it actually isn't the best thing to do. Like you said before, it's just not the best thing I could have done.
Mm-hmm.
The conversion rates, because I was doing them mostly on the ground.
Yeah, so if my Slippy crashes, sorry about that. I don't know why. I updated it too. It's just for some reason my Slippy sometimes crashes, so I don't know why.
It might be because, well, right now you don't have an extra dolphin open, but I know when mine crashes because I have 2 dolphins open.
Okay, so what is your early percent game plan against Falco?
I really either want to just get a grab straight up and try and kill off that, or land a back air or land a nair, and then try and get a grab again, or just a pound. That's my low percent game.
Okay, so I've actually been talking to a bunch of people about this. Is like they're like wasted actions in Melee are a pretty big deal, and I think that there are a lot of times with Puff where you can kind of get away with wasted actions in a way that like the way what I tell people for Falco and stuff like that is basically like you don't want to have any wasted actions, because the more actions you do, the higher probability at some point that you'll eventually mess up. So you basically want to end the match in like the most limited number of interactions possible. And I think that Puff can sort of get away with like playing kind of like a stalemate game where like she doesn't actually have to worry too much about wasted actions, and a lot of times it'll actually favor her to just kind of keep the game going without actually making anything happen. But that said, I don't really see the purpose of like doing this kind of stuff here at the beginning. Like, it doesn't really look like you're like, are you hoping that he'll throw out something dumb up here, or?
Yeah, I really was just hoping that he'd jump, like he would go to the top platform and attack me, but he didn't. He just
Okay, I think it's like mostly fine. It's just sort of like as long as there was some kind of purpose to it, because like, you know, it just didn't really do anything, and I was just kind of curious what it did. Okay, so you're looking. What happens here?
I
guess so far it looks like you're not really looking super carefully for any specific position. Like, so far it's been like exclusively like, so the first 10 seconds of the match are basically you hoping that he does something like horrendously bad, and there's nothing super wrong with that, but like all at the same time, like then you end up in why?
Oh no.
I do not understand why it does this. Thankfully, we're right at the beginning of the match.
Thankfully. Oh no.
No, it just does that. I don't know. I don't know why.
I think you might have to put it into your Slippy folder. I have no idea.
Interesting. I'll ask Philly or something later. So,
I think I actually know the name of the game. It could be like we played at the same time, maybe, and it's trying to reread it. I don't know.
No, because this happens to me on every replay. It's whenever I rewind too much,
then
it'll inevitably crash at some point. So, I think if you're going to be doing completely safe stuff, that's okay. But in the beginning of here, you're kind of doing things that like this can just potentially lead to him getting free damage, and it doesn't have like a lot of intention from your end. I think. Because from Falco's end, he is very aware that if you get an opening on him, it could be the end. And so a lot of times the Falco's at low percent, especially when you're at this percent, you're like literally in no danger. Like, I think rather than going for like things where it's kind of like, I sure hope he does this dumb option, if you just basically did the same thing, except I sure hope he does this good option, then I think you'd have a lot better chance of getting something. Like if you just like went for a tomahawk at the beginning and just see what happens or something.
Holy shit! I've never fucking thought of that. Like I always really do hope that like I want the bad option, but the good okay. I sure hope he does.
And so like, dude, what? Okay, it's never crashed this often.
It's okay.
So, my apologies. I updated it too. I thought it would fix that, and it does this little thing at the beginning. I just have to be really careful about rewinding, I think. So I'll just do my best not to rewind too much.
Play.
So basically, so far you haven't actually gone for anything. Like it's been 5 seconds, and like yeah, it might not seem too long, but like there hasn't been a point yet where he has felt like you were trying to take his stock. And the most scary part as Falco is when you feel like the puff is just always like ready. Like if they're not taking your stock now, it's because they're thinking of some evil plan to somehow take your stock. And so just sort of like basically you're opening up the match and you're already communicating that you're not looking for anything in particular and you're just hoping for him to mess up, which I think a lot of times will encourage the Falco to sort of play extra safe and just kind of go for baits rather than like being baited by your aggressive intentions. Right here I feel like you didn't really need to get caught in this situation, but you did. If that happens, you're just going to take some damage sometimes. And then like what's this, you know, like down air at 0 doesn't work. Like he's literally at 0%. I mean, okay, so I guess you did this, but like you could have literally gotten shined right there.
Yeah, I could have got fucked up.
So it's like oh, I'm gonna get this sick down air edge cancel into a forward air, but he could shine me out of the down air, or he could CC the fair and shine me, and it's kind of like there was no world there where the Falco felt like you were coming to murder him, you know? Yeah. Like there needs to be like, that's why I'm saying like the thinking about the threat ranges and stuff like that isn't necessarily conducive to like what you want, because what you want to do is how do I communicate, or like first of all, which openings do I have in every situation that can kill Falco? And if there's not a situation that I can kill Falco there, I can either not engage and try to get into a better position that I like from please don't crash, okay. So like from this spot, you could have just hopped over here and been in center, and then what is he going to do? He has to like come down and do something like that. Like he can't basically force you to interact right here. So you're taking the initiative to interact, but look, if this up tilt hits you, you could literally die. Like you're not threatening a kill. So therefore, even no matter what other thoughts you're having, the risk reward is against you there.
Yeah.
So I think that up air was good, and then you crouched there, which didn't really make any sense. Okay, let's see. Okay, so that was good. I think you tried to dash attack.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I remember being really mad about that.
Okay, so you come back invincible. Let's see what you try to do. So you go for the back air read. Using invincibility, you get 2 reads. Okay, so you go for those. He goes to ledge. I think that's fine. Okay, so now he's here. You're trying to catch him coming up. He goes for that. I think that's okay. I definitely think you should have probably grabbed there, or you just did a back air, and like the thing is that back air might not have been so bad a couple years ago. But nowadays, almost everyone will just attack your back airs. And so, yes, if you got the reverse back air and he went here, then sure, you might get an opening. But, like, if you back air here and he goes the wrong direction, he's safe. If you back air here and he goes the right direction and he attacks, what are you going to do? You're going to run up and grab him. But you had the grab here already anyway.
So there was the stock ending options, and I just chose one that just really...
Like what if you had done a down throw here or something, and he has this awful situation where he can either DI onto the platform or kind of DI out into like an awkward like edge guard or something like that, or even like a forward throw or an up throw. Obviously the up throw is maybe not perfect at this percent, but I'm sure you know her combo tree better than I do at this percent. But like regardless, the thing Falco is afraid of is definitely not you bearing him while he's grounded. Yeah. He's definitely afraid of your grab. Even if the grab doesn't lead anything, just the feeling that he knows that you did grab him, and there was like if you go for a mix-up out of a grab that has a potential to kill, even if he avoids it, in his head, he'll have a feeling like, whew, that's close. Whereas in this case, you back air him, and he'll just kind of live and be like, okay, like I didn't do anything too wrong.
Yeah, and now he's like, oh, okay, time for me to just play neutral.
Exactly. So, okay, that was a nice down air.
I don't kill.
The second one was not my favorite, but... And now he's kind of at this awkward percent. When Falco's kind of at this percent, Puff kind of, like, as you notice, has kind of, like, an awkward time here. Yeah. And that's just because, like, none of your moves really combo. And that's why at, like, lower percents, you have to focus a lot harder on your edge guards and your death combos. Because then, in this situation, you're basically going for, like, Hail Mary dash attacks and like edge guards like that, and then okay, so now you're like way behind, and you haven't, you know, like none of this needed to happen. When you are in this type of situation, I think this is really bad for Puff. Like, I think when Falco is like basically like 100 or something like that, it's really rough for you because he can omps attack all your moves. If you hit him away at the other side of the stage, he'll just side beat a ledge. Like, it's not very good. So you're kind of in a bad spot here, but I think the issue is that you got into this situation more so than, oh wow.
Yeah, no, I get bodied this game. But I'm learning a lot. So that's
Yeah, so like basically when you're in this type of situation, I think that like recognize that you do struggle in like neutral at this percent, like as Puff. And so like because you can't get any of those heavy punish options. And so like I think when you're at that type of percent, that's really where you want to play a lot safer. And that's where you're kind of looking for him to kind of do something dumb because you really only need one quick little tap or something. But you're at a position where he can quickly get 50, 60 damage where you really don't want to take the damage. So I think those are the positions where you need to play like a lot safer rather than like looking for the hard openings. Okay, so let's see what's going on right here. So the thing with this Nair also was this is like you want to have good spacing Nair. This isn't like a threat. Like if I'm playing a Puff and I see them do this and then fade, like this could have been something, you know?
Yeah.
Like, but it's you fade back out of it, and so so basically you risked yourself. Like you risked he could have up tilted or he could have done something here for no. Like, this situation with that Nair, the best possible thing that could have possibly happened worked out for you. Like, that was it. Like, that was, like, what you wanted. And you got 9 damage, and you're, like, even on frames and neutral.
You're right. That is exactly what I wanted. But yet, it's not like I killed him or anything.
Like, you didn't get anything. Like, that was the best possible situation. Yeah. Worst possible situation is he, like, let's see. So you're here, you do this, you go for this Nair. Like, he could just, like, I guess you're just gonna get it here because he can't, it Sakurai angles him and he couldn't have CC'd it, and you whiff punished the up tilt. But, like, the thing he is scared of from missing this up tilt is the grab. Like, that's the scary thing. So, like, if he misses this up tilt, you're, like, he in his head as the Falco, when he whiffs this up tilt, he is thinking, oh no, Puff is going to wave dash in and grab me. And the thing is the wave dash in grab is probably not quick enough. But you can force a mix-up where, like, let's say you wave dash in after this up tilt and shield, and he up tilts again, you get the grab. If you wave dash in here and he tries to laser, you might be able to, you know, hit him with
dash attack or something. Oh, I wouldn't dash attack there.
You might be able to, like, up tilt him or find, like, basically the idea is, like, your options are heavily limited by the percent. That's just kind of how Puff is a lot of times. Like, as you know, is that, like, she doesn't have a lot of options to just kind of force things on people, like, regardless of the percent.
Looking back at this, I should have just wave dashed in and held down, and then if I got up tilted again, I would just fucking CC it.
Exactly, because that puts him in a situation where, like, one of the options, regardless of how little of a probability it is, like, one of the options out of that situation is he dies.
Yeah.
And so what you at least want is you want your absolute, if everything goes your way, if you're like, look, the sky is red, and he's like, oh, it's red, and everything goes exactly your way, he falls for all your tricks perfectly, he should die. You never want a situation where your perfect option works, he does everything you wanted, and you don't get anything out of it. Because then he's no longer afraid of your best case. He's not afraid of you reading him with a Nair fade back. If you read me with a Nair fade back, I'm like, nice. You know, like, that. What does that do? That doesn't. First of all, it doesn't do shit. First of all, it doesn't do anything in the game, and second of all, it's like anti-mental damage. Like, it actually will give your opponent confidence. I messed up. I did this up tilt in neutral against a Puff when I could have just literally gotten rested or died, and instead I took 9 damage, so I might as well just throw out random mix-ups. What you want is you want them to be terrified of doing anything. You want the Falco to be like, when I down air, he wave dash back grabs. When I up tilt, he wave dashes in and goes for like a scary mix-up, and sometimes he rests me. When I jump, I come down and he either sharks it with a grab or an up air, and then he rests me. Like, you want him to feel like he's in like this cage, you know, and it's slowly getting smaller, and you're if he does anything wrong, if you read him once, it's death. That's what you want. You never want these situations where your best option doesn't lead to anything. But like, that's how risk reward works. You want your worst option. If everything goes his way, you want the least risk possible. And when things go your way, you want the biggest reward possible. And then there's the nuance of like, well, what if, you know, he does something that you don't want and you also don't do something he wants? Then you're like, okay, well, what are the other possible situations that come out of this? And do I generally win those situations too? But in like this situation, Falco doesn't really have a lot of things that'll actually like kill you here. But you have the one threat you have at this percent is grab. So you have to threaten grab even if you're not gonna grab, you know?
Okay. Threaten.
Like, you have to. And it's just seeing that is like the quintessential 2Saint opening of like where you do like a nair and then you back off and it's like, sick. Wow, his neutral's so good. You know? He destroyed that guy in neutral 18 times and got 3 stock, you know?
That happens so much.
So the pound, I think the pound there is fine. The thing, that's the reason why Hungrybox does this pound so much, is because if he guesses wrong on the pound and the person hits him, he just kind of SDIs and DIs like away, and most of the time he's not gonna. Maybe he'll take like a third of a stock in damage or something like that, or maybe half a stock if the person hits a perfect opening. And if he gets this opening, he has a shot to get his perfect kill. And that's the thing. Yeah. It's not like a guaranteed out of this, but notice that Falco is already in the situation where he's like, no, here comes the 0 death, you know? Like, that's definitely, like, what he's feeling from that spot.
What did I just do? How did I fuck that up?
Let's see. Is
that a grab? Did I try to grab?
I think you might have been late on the grab.
Yeah, he's already... I can get shined, like, right now.
No, you could have grabbed.
Did I just do nothing?
Yeah, you just ran.
Wow.
Look, so you do this. Let's see, so you have... Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, right, you could have grabbed.
I did nothing, yeah.
8, 9. And he shines you on your actionable 10th frame. And then he just does this, which is just like him taking gambles because it's your last stock. Okay, so let's try another game.
That one interaction just showed me too that I don't grab correctly at all when in tech situations. I didn't even think about how it comes out on frame 7.
Mm-hmm.
So I should have been grabbing sooner and not, because I always like to wait for invincibility to end actually, and that's so I don't even know why I'm.
Yeah, like on the tech in place, you always want to. The second you realize it's a tech in place, you should be grabbing on like as absolutely fast as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Also, Audible Hourglass, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. Appreciate it. I'm glad you're enjoying the lesson.
Oh, that's one of my subs actually.
Nice. Oh yeah, they posted your emote.
Yeah, I told them I wouldn't stream this because there's just gonna be like specific game plans for basically Bobby, but I'm seeing this is a lot more broader than that. I'm learning more about how I actually am bad in certain situations.
Yeah, because like as a puff, you want your number 1 skill to be like perfect grab tech skill.
Yeah,
like you want it to be like I would actually say like literally practice tomahawk grabs and tomahawk turnaround grabs and like try to get it like that's basically your version of like a double shine or something.
Okay.
Is like perfect tomahawk grabs and perfect wave dash grabs as puff. Because a lot of times your perfect timing on the tomahawk grab, tomahawk turnaround grab, and wave dash grab like literally will determine wins and losses in like sets.
Practice tomahawk grab and
wave dash grab. and
that
try to
shit.
like literally get it frame perfect. Like
Grab.
you can use the Uncle Punches thing for that.
Yeah.
Like number of actionable frames. Like
Frame.
those need to be like crispy. And like the empty like tomahawk turnaround grab. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Tomahawk. Okay. Tomahawk turnaround grab too. Okay. Turn.
Because those need to be like I've been playing Falco a lot, and like to do a shield pressure with Falco with double shine, you have to be frame perfect. Because frame perfect double shine with Falco beats roll. And so that's just kind of like that's a very critical thing where it's like if the Falco can't do frame perfect double shine, the opponent can just buffer a roll between their shines every time, and then the character suddenly is way worse. So it's like if you can grab perfectly out of all these situations, like literally like the closer you are to frame perfect, the scarier it is. Like if you aren't messing it up, you know, like sometimes a frame or two, like he shined on your 10th actionable frame, but he could have very easily shined on like your 8th actionable frame, you know. And if you're not frame perfect, you get hit by the shine, and if you're frame perfect, you get the grab and you potentially make a comeback.
Does it does double shine Falco double shine that's frame perfect? Does it beat forward roll and spot dodge? Because I know it starts on 2 for Puff, then vulnerability.
For vulnerability for what?
Um,
On
forward
roll?
roll and spot dodge. Forward roll specifically. Backwards roll is 4 frames. Forward roll is 2 frames. It starts on 2.
Oh
Frame.
well, versus Puff, then she can get away by forward rolling.
Okay, I just gotta be cognizant that to use forward roll specifically, not like back
And it
roll.
beats buffered spot dodge, but not regular spot dodge.
Okay.
But you
This is
almost never want to spot dodge because most Falcos will do like double shine dare and stuff like that.
yeah, I just get grabbed anyway. Spot dodge actually just sucks ass. I'm starting to realize it's pretty garbage. Against like players like Cody or something like that. Okay. Okay, let me use the bathroom one more time.
All right, and then got to get the next Slippy file.
Yeah.
How you guys in chat doing? You guys enjoying the lesson so far? I need to hammer this concept into 2Saint's head. I've been yelling at him about this for like months, and it's the same concept every time of like the risk reward thing. And I'm really hoping that like because he's paying me money this time and he's writing stuff down, I just want to shake him. Be like, you need to go for high reward options. Like that's how I feel every time with him. Puff almost sounds interesting as you talk about them. Puff is interesting. She's just really simple. So that's why she's kind of boring to play a lot of time. But she is her neutral interactions are certainly interesting.
I think like both players have to be really good at the matchup for it to be any fun.
That is very true. Yeah. 100%.
Like if I'm playing against someone that sucks ass at the matchup, it's so fucking boring. I'd rather read a book. But
you'd rather read a book. Okay.
I'm trying to see what else. Okay, this is a Dreamland game. I lose it, and then I win the next one. I think we should watch the next one because I feel like the next one is where
whichever video you wanna, I'll go over it.
Okay, because I feel like with this one, I might have been implementing what you were talking about, but subconsciously, and not really. Because I was pissed because I was like, "Yo, I'm down. I'm gonna lose."
Right.
It's like do or die, pretty much. Okay, let me check if I do win this one though, because that's the one where I feel like I did the right thing. It's loading.
Yeah, I was telling chat that just like that whole risk reward thing is like, I already knew going into this lesson that was going to be the thing that I was going to harp on, and I've talked to you about that outside of this too. But I think having like specific examples from analyzing in VODs will hopefully get it into your brain a bit better.
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be drilled in now because I'm actually taking the game a lot more seriously. Like,
well, that's good.
So, okay, I think this is it. This is it, right? Let me just double check because the names of these files are fucking dumb. 23, 1023. You can't just like skip to the end of the game. It's so dumb.
Wait, what?
When you click the file, like when you load the game, you can't just like skip to the end to see if you won.
Right. Well, that's just how replays are.
Because I'm not using the launcher. I'm using just the regular file explorer. It's faster.
Yeah, I usually do that. Okay. Okay, so you start out, you do the same opening.
Mm-hmm. I went straight up. Fuck.
Like I said, it's okay if you think that he's actually going to go for this, but I feel like he already kind of proved that he's not going to go for that. And
Okay.
so, like, you can... So, like, for instance, like, basically, like, something that you can kind of do when you have a character that punishes really, really hard is
Mm-hmm.
that if somebody uses an opening on one game, you should remember their opening, and on the next game, you can blind counter the same opening.
Okay.
This is something that like Army does a lot, and I think you can. I think Puff is also really good at it. Like I think he started the previous game with the same laser, and you also full hopped over it. But if you had started the match with, let's say, like
Wait,
um,
dash.
wave dash off the platform
Grab.
into like an up air, or grab here would be really good too. Like wave dash off and then grab the landing on the laser, then that'd be
Mm.
good. And it's basically like a situation of like it makes sense to go for it just because he's already demonstrated it, so he might think that that's like a good start again.
Yeah.
So that's like
And if I,
obviously small, but it's just something to think about.
and if I mess it up anyway, it's not like I purely just like lost neutral. I could just reset because I'm Puff.
Yeah, like if he doesn't go for this laser here, like to center, his other options are drop laser or laser on platform, neither of which like actually threaten you, but you have a chance to potentially get a kill. So this
Yeah.
is just playing the character who loses neutral but wins on punish. That like you everything you do needs to be towards potential kills. Everything. Every no input you should do should be like, oh, I'm gonna try to space and hope I can like get some damage or something like that. Like even if you're kind of going for damage, you really I think this back air like that's fine. Like
Mm.
it's fine to get damage, but you have to. I think like part of the reason why he actually runs away here is because it feels scary for him. Like here, he doesn't want you to get like a land like a 50-50 on which side he's on and instantly tomahawk grab, or he doesn't want you to be able to do this and then sneak under him with an up air or land and then shield drop up air or something like that. So he's just dipping because of your like
Yeah.
because you have like these inherent threats right there.
Holy shit. I never really like noticed stuff like that. Like, oh, my opponent, my opponent at low percent's like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking die. I never really noticed like when they're
That needs
actually.
to be your whole thing.
I mean, I noticed when it's like blatantly obvious, like, oh, they're by the ledge. This guy's gonna fucking shield. But it's
Right.
just like I never really think about it in terms of like the matchup slash percent and
Mm-hmm.
slash situation. Like, yeah, I could have really just fucked them up for that, and that's why he did run away. But during the match, I didn't think of it that way. I just thought that I landed in the back air. Fuck, I didn't get shit. Um,
Right. It makes sense. I'm just saying is like the entire like basically if you're playing the game from now on and you
mhm.
realize that your opponent is not scared of your zero deaths or you're also not playing around your zero death, that should be a marker to like change what you're doing. Like you
Yeah.
should never have a match where you feel like, oh man, they have hitboxes everywhere and I'm just kind of floating around and I'm kind of just looking and kind of waiting for like an opening. You should be like, this Falco, like what's this Falco gonna do if I wave dash in? Like he's probably terrified of like my grabs. You wave dash in and like you see what he does, and you're like, oh okay, he dash back lasered. So then the next time you do a jump, but you jump in and you kind of drift towards him, and you're like, is he gonna up tilt? He's definitely has to up tilt because otherwise I might just float in and up air rest him, you know? And so like sort of you have to be playing around your threats of a kill like constantly. Like that is the whole thing you're doing is playing around threats of kills. Like
Yeah.
that is Puff.
Like I'm starting to realize now that I only have like that thought process when I'm in shield and I'm like, okay, he's gonna attack my shield. I want a shield grab, but I'm now realizing again that's what you were saying about I hope he goes for the bad option. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's like fucks up on my shield, I get a grab. Like, no, that's not how this should work. I'm not forcing him to really think about
So
dying.
here's the thing is that a lot of times, so I agree with that completely, but the thing is that there are a lot of situations where you can threaten these kill options, and then your opponent only has certain options that will avoid said kill options. Like, let's say, like you said, you wave dash and hold down, like wave
Yeah.
dash and hold down. Then, like, let's say the Falco's options there are kind of like, he can full hop away, he can dash away, jump laser, stuff like that. And so he's kind of thinking of these options. But one of the options that Falco can do there is he can be like, Puff is going to try to wave dash in and grab me. Because, like, something Puff will do also that's not that bad is, like, wave dash in, crouch, then wave dash grab. Like, that's pretty good, too. And so he has to be afraid of that. And so sometimes then, by pressuring these kill options, then you can just shield, and then Falco will freak out and down air your shield, and then you get a shield grab. But that type of shield grab is significantly more honest because it wins a mix-up that you created by threatening your kill options. Rather than just holding shield and hoping that he makes a mix-up in his head where he dares into your shield.
That's actually a big rain. I gotta write this down. When it looks with fucking up.
So okay, so he's lasering here. He's kind of zoning you out. You go for this nair. I think these nairs are okay because it's basically like if he jumps into this and you get the nair, then he gets popped into the corner, and then you have kind of like a pressure here.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, so now he's definitely worried about your grab right here, 100%. As the Falco, you are very scared of the grab. And so you go for this fair, and so I think this fair is okay because you're trying to catch him full hopping out of the corner, and I think that's a pretty common option that Falcos go for. I think this is fine.
I feel like he's about to flop out of the corner too.
So then you go for this, and I think this is okay, but I do think that you are probably a little too far away when you land it. Because I think you want sort of like that cross up, like you want it to feel like you could definitely land, like, so like there's that mix up where if Puff does short hop late, no fast fall aerial, it hits only one frame different from short hop fast fall tomahawk. Do you know about that?
Wait, so if I do no fastball, it's one frame different.
Okay, here, let me actually show you this. This is like very, very important.
Okay.
For Puff. Drugged Fox showed me this at one point. This is like literally Puff's best mix-up, and almost none of the Puffs use it for whatever reason.
I didn't know this existed. If maybe I did, or
so if I do this like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or this. Oop.
Oh.
I'm bad.
Dude, she's just technical.
Okay. So if I do this up air, that up air, that hits on the exact same frame as this. Like, basically like one frame different. Like this versus that.
What the fuck? Wait, really?
Like, look at it. Like, feel it out. Like
a total.
This versus... Oops. So it's actually completely unreactable for the opponent.
Oh my god. Wait,
so every time you short hop onto your opponent and they're in shield or whatever, or they're just standing there, and you actually get like on top of them like this, short hop no fast fall aerial and short hop fast fall tomahawk those are your two options. So if you jump onto them like this, most time, like he did, people are gonna shield this. Like this is like the most basic poke you can do, right? Like doing that, like the early short hop early aerial. And so most of the time people will shield that. But you have this mix up where if you jump in and they shield this, you get to set up your 50-50 of that.
Mm-hmm.
And that either gives you an up air or a grab, which both murder your opponent. Does that make sense?
No, that's huge. I'm
so like by short hopping, I feel like you kind of take this as like a position of like, because you're thinking of like the bubble theory stuff, you're thinking of this position as like, okay, he has these moves that can kind of hit like in this range. And so what I want to do is I want to kind of poke him and then get back out of his threat range.
Yep, that's literally how I think.
Right. But then the actual thing is that you're jumping in, and if he doesn't shield your early aerial, he does get poked. But if he does shield your early aerial, you have a mix-up of either that or this. And that is a true mix-up, by the way. The up air and this is a completely true 50-50. And if he tries to roll on reaction, the up air will actually hit him.
He tries to roll?
Like, if he's shielding, like, if you jump like this, and you're, like, in the air, and he, like, basically, by the time he can confirm that there is no early aerial, like, because he thinks you're going to be doing this, right?
Yeah.
By the time he can confirm that, if he rolls there, the up air will actually hit him out of his roll startup. So, like, if he's in shield, and he sees that you jumped like this, but you didn't actually fair him, when he starts his roll, your up air will actually be out, and his roll will get hit, and you get a free kill.
That's crazy, because it's not even, like, that's not even, like, the fastest two aerials that Puff has. Like, the fastest one is Dare, which is, frame 5.
The fastest what?
The fastest aerial that you can do is Dare. So it's, like, it's crazy that, like, I can use my other two aerials, and it's still...
Well, you can use Bear there, too, but who cares? Like, the point is that you have an unreactable mix-up. So if you have an unreactable mix-up, and you're like, oh, I get to now mix up short hop fast fall grab with short hop late back air. Like, that doesn't do anything. Whereas this gets you freaking kills. Like, that literally ends his life.
And then they're second guess themselves.
So that is like a huge, huge, huge deal, and it's like literally how you play Puff. Like, without that mix-up of early aerial versus late no fastfall aerial versus late fastfall tomahawk, without that mix-up, Puff doesn't have anything. Like, that is all she has. She has the wave dash in grab, and she has the jump into the short hop grab / aerial mix-up. And so when you're in a situation like this, you can activate that mix-up. Every single time you're in this situation, you get your 50... Not a 50-50 yet, but you get... First of all, you get your 50-50 of, okay, he thinks you're either going to back air or forward air his shield. And then if you don't do that, like if you had jumped up here and you didn't... Well, you full hopped here. Wait one sec. So let's wait for this. So it's this one. So the other thing is you can do that same mix-up, like the short hop thing, out of a full hop. Where what you do is you full hop, and then when you're coming down, you either do no fast fall late aerial, or you wait and you fast fall here and do a tomahawk. It's like the same thing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm just writing everything down.
Okay, yeah. So it's like, in this situation, this is not a situation where you're poking. This is a situation where you get to threaten a poke at the same, like, basically you get to do your safe fairs here, like you did. And if he tries to avoid these fairs by shielding, which he does, then as soon as that not as soon as that happens, but sometimes when he does that, you get your little, like, unblockable 50-50 here with the grab or the late up air. So that you, like, that needs to be, like, in your mind as, like, a huge deal. It's like a really, really big deal. So you get the up air. That was good. What led to this up air? So you catch him out of the down air, and then you get this, and he's dead. All right, perfect. Good job.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, he doesn't punish rest for some reason. He goes for the bad down air. I guess that's an okay fair. I don't really approve of this fair. Because, like, right here, I would approve of this more if you did it, like, you maybe from right here, you did a turnaround back here, right here. But this is like, look, if he hadn't done this, he could have easily just gotten a bunch of damage on you.
Yeah.
So there's not really, like, a reason for it. I think this is okay. He's at 0, so the up air is not super, super useful. But it's still something. So right now you're kind of looking for the hit, which is fine. I think you could be wave dashing off platforms a bit more. Okay, so he kind of just wins the mix-up a few times. This makes no sense.
When you talk about wave dashing off a platform, when do you think I should do it?
Okay, so like, I think like right here is like a potential situation to do it. Like right here. Because if you wave dash off this platform and he does something, like let's say he lasers, you'll be able to hit him. And so it puts him in this spot where, like, basically you get to like you can just like wave dash off here and then double jump away or something if you don't want to come in. But like by doing this wave dash, it's a threat.
Yeah.
It's a threat because from here you can like fast fall up air, you can fast fall tomahawk, you can like just float at him and then late up air like I was talking about before. So like if you had wave dashed off here, so look, why does he shield? Why is he shielding here? It's because he thinks you're gonna wave dash off, subconsciously or not. Look, so you're right here. He sees you moving towards him. He shields because he thinks you're about to wave dash off and attack him. Otherwise, there's no reason for him to shield here. He is shielding because he sees your forward motion and he's expecting some form of coming off the platform here. This is actually bad from him. I think if he's going to do this shield, he should roll. Because he's basically putting himself in the spot where you're just like, fast, like wave dash off into your unblockable 50-50 with like the grab. It's not technically unblockable. It's like you can, if he does like a roll, you hit him with the up air. You know, if he doesn't, you grab him. It's like pretty scary for him. But so if you had just wave dashed off here into like a fade back fair or a back air or something, you would have gotten some free damage. And so that's why I'm saying. So, okay, that's fine. I'm gonna literally message Fizzy about it after this lesson.
As you should. It shouldn't be happening this much.
Yeah, no, it's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, I'm just gonna ask him like what it could possibly be.
Have you uninstalled?
No, I'm probably just gonna uninstall and reinstall and see what happens.
Yeah.
Because it seems like it's actually happening more after I updated, which I didn't think would happen. Okay, so you don't do the mix-up there. That's what we talked about.
Yep.
Then you're here. Okay, you got this. That is good. Notice that in that situation, you were kind of like pressuring him, and he hit you a couple times, but it didn't matter because you eventually got your hit that just ended his life.
Yeah. Waveline off. I could have just got center off that.
Okay, so this is like one of those situations where he hasn't shot a laser in like a while, I think. And so Bobby specifically gets like this, and a lot of Falcos do, where he gets kind of in down air mode. And like when he's in down air mode, a lot of times just sort of what you can do is you can just like jump waveland down or something like that and kind of see what he's gonna do. Like basically, if the Falco is in aerial mode, you can kind of just wave dash around and like look for easy grabs on him jumping in, like wave dash back, wave dash in, shield, wave dash back, or whatever. Those are pretty good. And like you basically only start jumping like this once Falco has been like, okay, fine, he starts lasering. Because once he starts lasering, then you can get freely into the air and set up a situation where he has to laser you again or face your potential mix-up. And then, okay, this is the thing I wanted to point out from before, is you go for this pound, but the reason why this pound is desperate is because, so, this is the same situation where remember that situation from the corner where you can go for the early aerial, but you have mostly demonstrated that you go for the early aerial here. So all you're basically doing with this pound is he literally thinks you're just going to fair him. And you're going for the same exact commitment as the early aerial, but with a higher commitment on it. So, like, of course he's going to shield this, because you haven't given him any reason not to shield this. You're not... The last time you were in this situation, you didn't. It's not like you wave dashed in and tried to go for a grab. You have been consistently going for early aerials on his shield here. So why would he not shield this, you know? You need to give him, like, a reason. And that's why, like, a lot of times what Hungrybox will do is... the reason he goes for the pounds is because people keep dashing away. So, like, he'll float in for the back air and they dash away, and then he floats in for the back air again and they dash away, and then the third time, he floats in for the back air and then pounds at the last second, which gives him a little bit of extra range on his aerial mobility, and it'll catch the dash back. Does that make sense? Do you understand that?
No, everything makes sense.
Okay.
I'm just like, I'm writing everything down.
Okay, you're just writing it down. That's fine. And I'll be uploading this to YouTube like in a little bit, so it won't be lost forever.
True.
Okay, so he hits this, but still it's good to take notes. So yeah, once again, he's in down air mode. Once he's in down air mode, he's just literally going to keep down airing over and over until you make him not do it. Look at him. Look at him go. Look at him. Look at him. He's just down airing.
The worst part is it's working. So
yeah, it is working. No, it works against a lot of puffs. You have to recognize that he's going into a down air mode and basically just not like let it work. Okay, I'm not going to count that. You just caught him out of coming back, and he was being dumb.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that was fine. I think that was a good wave dash back by you, and he just kind of clipped you out of it. Okay, I think this is fine. Okay.
Right now, I'm trying to get my one hit. And then
no, this is totally fine. I think this is totally good. This is totally good spacing because you're spacing around like this critical diagonal of like when Falco does this laser, what you really want is you want to be like at this angle, right? So you can kind of come in here. Then he has to shoot these high lasers, and sometimes you can sneak underneath them and set up mix-ups and stuff like that. Because if he shoots a low laser and you come in from this angle, you get a free back air. So he has to shoot high lasers against Puff here, which opens him up to potential other problems. So I think you're doing basically a really good job here by avoiding it. One thing I think, and look at why is he shielding here? Do you want to know why? He's shielding here because what would actually be rational for you in this situation is he notices that he's coming down with these lasers. He sees you floating here. He 100% actually believes that you're going to float right here. Because that's the situation that I would be thinking of that you're going to set up, is that you're going to float right here and then either go for a mix-up like in this range or just double jump back air out of the way again. So look at you're floating like this, and he sees you drift in here, and he instantly thinks you're going for an aerial pressure. See, so, and then he realizes that you're not, so then he does this wave dash. So you're still focusing on keeping this like irritating diagonal against Falco, which is good. And I think this is fine too. Like it's good that you're not risking yourself and you go for that back air. I think that's also good. And I think this is all totally fine. Like this just kind of happens in the matchup. But I think that you could be a little bit more like the thing is like your opponent will make, like you're kind of looking for him to do a bad spacing.
I was.
But the thing is waiting for your opponent to do a bad spacing is fine, but it's a lot better when you're trying to make them make a bad spacing decision. Mm-hmm. So, like, you're not threatening enough with your movement to make him make mistakes. Like, I think, like, you can basically basically the distance you're playing at is a little too far, both, like, vertically and horizontally from where he is. What you want is you want it to be like, look, I'm just kind of chilling right here. I'm not even really paying attention. And like, he tries to come in and you're like, ha! And then you want other times where you're like, I'm really trying hard to come and get you, Falco. Like, I swear I'm trying to come in on you. And he's like, I know, you're looking for your spot. And you're like, I sure am. But in reality, you know, you're kind of just waiting for him to try something, you know? Yeah. And so, like, you want kind of both of those at play, and you kind of do neither of those really hard. You're kind of in, like, this middle ground where you're not really making yourself look vulnerable. Like, you're kind of far out of the way, but you're also not really making him feel vulnerable. Like, he's kind of comfortable throwing out these aerials because you're not positioning yourself to even hit him if he does one of these dumb aerials. So you get that one. I think that's fine. And you go for this, which I think is fine. And then you're here. You get this. I think this is totally good. This was actually a good pound.
Thank you.
Because you obeyed the rules where you feigned a back air. He moved out of the range of back air, and you went for the pound. That is where you pound. That is correct. And then you immediately do an awful pound.
Yeah, I know.
That's so funny.
I'm pound twice, like. type of situations, like where you do up smash twice as fuck.
But it's funny because you get this, and it's like, so this isn't the perfect back air, you know. Like obviously you would have wanted, because the thing is like what you want it to be is that the back air. You want it to be that if he stays in place, the back air will hit him, and then therefore he has to move. So he gets right here, and because you jump away, you don't get the correct mix-up, like the perfect mix-up. It's pretty correct, but it's not perfect. Like if you had jumped in place here, you would have gotten the perfect one. Because the issue is that if you back air right here, he's actually still out of the range. You notice what I'm saying?
Is that why he didn't move forward with his down air? Because that's what I was like kind of expecting, like him to try and down air out the corner.
Yeah, it's because you weren't close enough to him with the back air.
Okay.
So because you weren't close enough to him with the back air, this dash back actually isn't even to avoid the back air, it's to avoid the pound. And that's why when you pound, look where he is. He's right here. He's ready. Well, what you really want is when he moves back and shoots this laser, this needs to be the laser to avoid the back air. If your back air had been right here instead, like look at the position. If your back air had instead of jumping here and then drifting to here before pounding, if you had jumped here and drifted to here before pounding, when he does this laser, the pound would have hit him. So it was the correct idea, but a slightly wrong spacing. You need to make sure only pound when you're about to back air and you're like, if he doesn't move, the back air will hit him. And then right before you land, you pound.
Okay.
But if the back air's not going to hit him anyway, the pound is like basically a pointless risk.
Only pound if the back air will land.
So then, yeah, so he goes for this down air and you get out of the way. Then you go for the second pound. And the thing with this pound is that, sure, it might work, but there's no reason for it to work. It's essentially a pound in literally pure neutral. So, like, it can work, but if you want to be the best player ever, all of your moves need to have reasons why they work, not just working. Like, it needs the odds need to be stacked in your favor, because if they're not, you're basically just gambling. And if you're gambling purely without any sort of weight behind the gamble or intention behind the gamble, or like ways that you have caused the gamble to be more likely to happen, then this is no different from a level 1 scrubby O2 puff doing a pound in neutral. The only thing that separates your pounds from the worst player's pounds is that you can do a pound, is that a good player will do a pound in a situation that the opponent is like, the reason why the other pound is good is because their correct response to your back air gets beaten by the pound. So therefore the pound has like weight to it. It has like a reason to exist because the pound covers their counter to your back air. But if you just do this pound is not, it's not covering his correct response to something else that you threatened. It's simply just a pound in neutral. And like I said, if you're doing a pound in neutral and there's no correct option that this pound is countering, you're literally going, man, I sure hope he jumps in. Like, man, that would be so nice if he just jumped in and let me beat him. And that's exactly what bad players think. And you go for this pound, and I'm not going to hate on this pound too much because, like I said, he was in the range where if he stayed in place, the back air would hit him. So I think it's okay. And I'm not going to hate on it too much. I think this is okay. Because it would have caught him jumping. So it was just a mix-up there. Not too bad. But notice that, like, the reason I'm not hating on that pound, even though that one also got shielded, is because it at least covers the correct option from the back air.
Yeah.
So at least, and the last time you did the pound, or like the last time you feigned with a back air, he did dash away laser, and so it makes it at least has like reasoning behind it. The more reasoning you have behind a decision, the higher level decision making as a player that is. Like the more, because like the less logic you have, it's just a move. But when there's logic behind it and it covers good options, then that's when it enters like a mix-up territory rather than just guessing territory. Also, just sort of let it be known that this entire stock you have not tried to set up a grab at all. Not only have you not tried to grab, like I'm not telling you to commit to a grab, I'm saying you literally have not positioned yourself for even a potential grab. It's just strictly been aerials. Okay, there you go. You finally went for the grab there. But, like, the thing is even when you're not grabbing, I'm not telling you to be throwing out grabs, but you need to be setting up so that if things go in your favor, the grab happens. And if you're moving around in a way that, like I said earlier, your best situation needs to lead into, like, a grab or something good. And you're not, like, no matter what you do, it's not going to work out well if you're not setting up for good openings. And now you basically failed because you're at this percent, which is like freaking Falco's 65-35 puff at this percent. Like it's bad. Like you can't, because you don't have any threats. You're basically the funny thing is that at this percent, like the puff that you have to play at this percent is like the puff that you've been playing the whole stock to get here, which is just tacking on damage. So, like, this is the worst version of puff possible, and this is the puff you played the whole stock.
Yo, I've actually came to that realization like 2-3 days ago. I was like, if I get someone to that like percent, that means I kind of just like lost.
Yeah, it's really bad. Like, so the thing, my recommendation at this percent is you kind of get in this mindset of like, well, I just kind of lost and I need to come back quickly. But that's not how it is. This is the percent where you really want to like make him work for it. Like, he really has to work for it. Like, you really want to drag it out because at this percent, like, you need a stray hit, right? And so you basically want to make it so that neither person can get anything but stray hits. But you literally are jumping up and up airing his down air as if he's at 20%, and you're both over 100. Like in the perfect world where you up air frame perfect, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't help you at all.
Oh no.
So, okay, so you're doing the zoning thing. I think this is correct. This is like what you should be doing, except for that. But in general, that was like correct spacing where you're like, you're really making him work for the opening. Like, you're not risking yourself unnecessarily because like you're going for up airs again.
Do not up air at high percent.
Like, up air is not going to do anything.
Yeah, I'm starting to realize how I fucking play this game now. I really do try to hit the opponent with no real rhyme or reason.
Mm-hmm.
I'm too heavy on the bubble theory. Like, oh, this move should work.
Yeah, that's why when you mentioned the bubble theory thing, I was like, shing! I was like, wait a minute. That's the issue. Like, is you do totally play around the bubble without thought of like what you're actually setting up. Once again, this is like kind of a pointless pound. That's clearly because you were mentioning your game plan was hit him once and then pound. Yeah. But the correct answer is hit him once, then set up a mix-up, which can lead to pound.
That's correct.
Or grab. Yeah, once again, just pounding. Okay, but you get the grab. How do you get this grab? Okay, you fade back, you roll back, and you get the grab. Perfect. That's good. He just gave it to you. No reason. There's no reason to do this pound at all. Like, he's already in the corner. Like, he's in the corner. This is where you get if you're gonna full hop here, this is where you do the full hop fair, you know, to catch his full hop. And the full hop fair would have probably caught him and you would have gotten a kill, but because you pound, which is way harder to hit with, he gets sent back to center and you give him center stage. Like, you got him in the corner and then you went for the pound anyway, and now it reset and he's in center. So that's just not a great decision there. You want to really try to press the advantage there. Okay,
yeah.
Okay, I think that's okay.
I'll tell you the reason why I did pound is because, again, bubble theory. I was like, he has nowhere to run. This pound will cover everything.
This is a situation that's a little bit ambiguous, and I'm not going to tell you that this back air is bad here. but I think you probably could have done your super swaggy drill edge cancel stuff here.
Yeah. But nerves, I'd say.
Okay, so now you have him off stage. He's almost at that really bad percent, so you really want to get him. Get him now. Okay, so you get that. Okay, I think that was a good recovery by him. There you go. You got it. So we're a little bit over an hour, so I'll just do. It'll be like an extra $5 or something like that.
Okay.
But all right. So, any extra thoughts and questions?
I feel like I kind of got everything I needed. Truthfully,
That's good.
Trying to think of a question. So quick summary on what I should just practice. Like, what can I go into training mode right now and just like train on?
Mm-hmm.
Like movement wise, plus
well, yeah, I think okay. So there's the things we already talked about with the tomahawk grab and wave dash grab. Those need to be like perfect.
Okay.
Those need to be the cleanest part of your whole gameplay. Okay. The second one I think is setting up. Oh, so the other one is practicing the fast fall tomahawk / late up air mix up, and then imagine yourself pretending to early fair, like the fair poke you do or the back air poke. Like imagine yourself like get like a shadow box, just go into training mode, like there's no opponent or anything, and be like, look, here I come with my back air or something like that, and then do instead of doing the back air, do that no back air into that mix up, and just sort of practice that and like get it into your head that like this is like a true mix up, and you get to do this anytime that your opponent, you know, isn't prepared for it and they're expecting, because a lot of times you jump backwards and you get ready to back air poke and people shield. And then that should be your cue. You need to practice like imagining the situation of I jump at them to back air, they shield, and then I do either a tomahawk turnaround grab out of the back air or a late up air. And like sort of visualize that situation and like repeat it to yourself and like practice like the tech skill involved, because you noticed when I was doing it, I missed the fast fall tomahawk sometimes. And it's like that needs to be like this is like Falco being able to like down air shine consistently. Like that is this for Puff.
Yeah.
You need super consistent tech skill in these areas because these are your main mix-ups. Like doing a mix-up into a tomahawk is actually Puff's only real mix-up. Like it's one of her only actual mix-ups in the game.
And I literally barely do it, which is like crazy to think about. Oh my god. I feel like a shit player.
It's okay. Now that you know, and now that it hits you that way, it's like it's good because then now you can move past it by focusing on these things. And if you ever watch a VOD of yourself and you're not doing these things, then you know you can. It's easier to correct it once you know what you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
And then so the other thing is okay, so there was that, and then you don't necessarily need to practice the pound mix up, but just remember that like to only do the pound mix up to hit someone who's running away from your back air, and if they don't run away from the back air, you get a free back air, you know. So like sort of keep that in mind. Keep in mind that like you want Falco to die before 100%, and once he gets over 100%, you need to just play super campy and go for like openings here and there, like very risk averse. But like if every stock in a game Falco is going above 100%, you're doing things seriously horrifically wrong. Like when you're playing and you're like, man, it was a high percent, and then the next stock he comes back, man, that was another high percent stock. You need to really look at it and be like, okay, I'm not doing, because the thing is, even if everything goes wrong for you, what should be happening is you get beat up, you get beat up, you get beat up, rest. You get beat up, you get beat up, you get beat up, early edge guard. And like if that happens, then you might still lose the game if he's winning more neutral interactions than you, like by a lot. But it should always, no matter, even if you're guessing wrong every time, it should still have those hard punishes. And if you're playing and those hard punishes aren't happening, you're probably trying to like play too safe or play too like aerial heavy and not going for the correct mix-ups that'll actually give you those results. So if those early kills aren't happening, you need to be able to like kind of snap out of it and realize that you're not playing to the correct risk-reward situations.
Okay.
But yeah, those two things, like practice that tech skill with the mix-ups and then like just try to implement that as much as you can. I think it'll help out like a lot.
Thank you so much, Shep.
Yeah, sounds good. It was fun talking to you, and let me know how these things go. And if you're confused about something, you can hit me up. But it was nice catching up and talking about programming and stuff like that too. So
Fuck yeah.
I will talk to you later, man. So
Later, bro.
have a good one.
Okay, send me your PayPal and Discord.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, later.